told me from the start that you played around, it would have been fine. Then I would have played too, and I guess I would have had a good time. If you told me from the start that you played around, it would have been fine.
Icons, don't go anywhere. The Vincent-Tennell Show presents Grapevine TV.
I wanna be good to you, baby. Ooh, call me crazy, but I think about the love of my life last night. Have you ever felt warm on a cold night? That's how you get it when you least expect it, and you can't reject it. That crazy little tingling feeling, pain in your chest, yes. Just feel that fire, just let it burn. There's no running when it's your turn. Just let it burn. Just let it burn. Oh, let
And welcome to the Grapevine. I'm your host, Ashley Acuna, and today we will be talking about Damon Dash's interview with Power 105.1, a very controversial one. And then we'll also be touching on Jaden Smith and how people were a little upset that he was wearing a skirt. People were a little confused, so we're going to get into that today. So I'm going to introduce my panel. To the right of me, I have Donovan, Wells, Shola, Mark, Mia, Tiffany, and Laura. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yes.
Back again.
Yes.
Okay, so Damon Dash was recently on Power 105.1 talking about being your own boss. And I'm sure everybody on this panel got a chance to view at least some of it. And basically the gist of the conversation was that as human beings, well, I think Damon Dash was specifically talking about men. They should be their own boss. Having to call someone else your boss is like calling someone your daddy. Just really stressing the importance of owning your own and having your own source of income and how that can be a powerful thing. Well, I have my views on that. I would like to go to Shola and then Wells to talk about what they thought about that, and then we'll get to the rest of the table as well too.
I've known Dame Dash from his interviews and, movies or whatever to always be that type of, overbearing and sort of hardline, you need to be this and that and you're not a man. I think it was terrible. I think all the stuff, I didn't get anything positive from anything he said.
Okay.
I think there needs to be chiefs and Indians, there needs to be janitors, there need to be teachers, policemen. Not everybody can be a boss. Not everybody's built to be a business owner. Mm-hmm. Some people are satisfied with, I just want to be a mechanic. I don't want to own my own shop. I like to fix cars. I don't need to be my own boss. I'm fine being a worker. I make enough money to take care of my family. I have no issue calling anybody my boss. Mm-hmm. I don't have any trouble at work. I prefer to go 9 to 5 and have weekends on. People have a preference. Not everybody is built to be a boss. Not everybody wants to be a boss or an entrepreneur.
Yeah, okay, it's valid. Wells, what do you think?
I'm on the other side. I think that what Dame Dash said was very empowering. I think that in our community, in the community of people of color, we need to focus on being more of a controlling our own destiny through business, through entrepreneurship, and not relying on other people or the dominant society to feed us and clothe us, and then go around and complain that he's kicking us in our back. So you can't go to the same person that's killing you to feed you. So Dame Dash's mentality is we need to be our own entrepreneur. I know his delivery isn't always the best, but there's different ways of delivering. Sometimes I think some people got felt very attacked because he said, "Hey, you may be working a job," and
he basically called him a bitch. He made it seem like you're weak for doing that. That's
a woman.
I didn't tell them.
You mentioned the first one. You mentioned employers like being your daddy.
My only issue with Damon Dash is that I'm listening to an hour of what you're saying and I have to extract it. Your audience, we call ourselves intelligent, progressive people. So when we hear these things, we're able to filter and compartmentalize these different things. You're speaking to the average, Power 105, he's speaking to an audience, a hip hop audience, a generation of young people who they're not going to filter it the way we're filtering it. And that's my issue with it. If you're going to speak to them, don't say that. Because then you're linking you're linking entrepreneurship and that hierarchy to daddy issues too. There's just so many things that are just done wrong, poorly. I feel what he wants to do, but like
I said, I agree that the delivery was maybe too strong, and it was maybe wrong to do the whole "you're not a man" thing. I really didn't buy into that. I dissected that. That was a grain of salt. That was a grain of salt that I didn't pick up. But
DJ Envy was a little tight.
He was a little tight, but I think that he was critical. I think that we had a problem of Dame being critical of the everyday man, and he kind of hit us in certain chords. I think that was healthy, whether we liked it or not. I thought it was very healthy that he brought up that conversation.
He grew up in a generation where it was go to school, get a good job, go to school, get a good job. Like those of us who graduated when the economy was falling apart, we're a little bit more open to entrepreneurship.
Go to school, get a side job, get a third job, a fourth job, just to make ends meet.
For him, it's not that, and especially like he's saying what's being said to young people. It's being said to young people who are not hireable because of awful school conditions, because of racism. I was told my full name wouldn't get me hired. That was just recent. I didn't know that it was like that, but and we're telling them like, well, if you be good, you can get a job. But if we tell them, if you start thinking about being your own boss, really putting energy into your craft, they can do that right now. They don't have to wait for somebody else's approval.
Go ahead.
That's a message I want to hear from young people.
I see both sides. I see your side. With leaders, there has to be followers. For me to build my company, for our society, for me to have a company, I have to have employees. To be an employer. So I totally agree. Not everyone. Some people, it will kill them to lead, and other people will kill them to be a follower. So I totally agree. But then I also agree with Dame Dash was saying, and I think that it was like yes, but his delivery was wrong. He had a Kanye moment to me. His delivery was wrong. And this is the thing, like, we do need to be more leaders, like, to our community. You look at Asians, they own their own stuff. You look at every other culture, and they own their own stuff, and they're paying, and they're not thinking about, oh, I'm trying to pay my bills, but they're thinking about their great grandchild who will have a future. Well, even when you talk about owning homes, I was like talking to my boyfriend about this, like, people in New York, some of these people are born into apartments and then they die paying rent. That is sad.
You will never own it.
Yeah, like versus where I come from, it's like, okay, this apartment is temporarily, like, or I'm gonna own this condo and flip it and somebody else will live in it. Or I wanna own a home because when I die, my great-great-grandchild could possibly live in this house. This could be passed down in generations. And I feel like we lack that. I feel like that.
And I think I agree with Dame Dash to an extent, but it's like for the way capitalism works and the way that a business works, just for it to work, there has to be workers.
But here's the
and I think that the fact that he was kind of talking down to people who are okay with that, I have a problem with that too. Yeah. Even though I do believe in entrepreneurship, it's just like there's some people who are okay working at a hotel and helping people and servicing people, and we shouldn't look down on them for that.
I think we generalized a little bit too much.
What do you mean?
In the sense, like, of course we need, of course we need people to, help build, companies and be the Indian or the chief. I think people took it a little bit too general.
But when DJ Envy was bringing it up, he was just like, no. He was like,
yeah, that's what he said.
Because one part that I did see and what he said is that even if you're working with somebody, you still come as a partner, or you come as he used a street example. You're giving somebody work, you're giving somebody an opportunity. I'm an entrepreneur. I haven't had a full-time job in 2 years now, and it's definitely not for everybody. That's one thing that I discovered. It is tough, and I applied for jobs recently. but
it's real.
But the reality is that the more you put energy into something, it'll yield the same results. But anyway, when I'm engaging with somebody and I have people working for me, I have to have them come with they have to come with the mentality that they're working for themselves, and this is benefiting them in some type of way.
Yeah. Otherwise they're not as invested.
They're not
That's true.
In this day and age, especially, like, one reason why when I did have a job, I did well at my job, being like the youngest program director, is because I came with my own agenda. I came with an entrepreneurial mindset. That has to be like, he's being extra about it. Again, he comes from a very hyper masculine generation. We'll get into with the Jada Smith thing.
Yeah.
So he's been extra Dame. He was always extra Dame. He was extra Dame when he was throwing money in the videos. We didn't have a problem with that. We have a problem with it when we're saying like own your own, own yourself.
Yeah. And Donovan, you said that you agreed with some of it, but some of it you felt like he had been
raised by wolves. I feel like it's just so beast. Like, here's the thing. I think that it was a missed opportunity. I feel like even if, like, for example, if they would have edited that video and you weren't able to watch it, the whole thing, you could have totally missed what he was saying because his delivery was disgusting. I thought it was like really.
What do you think was wrong with his delivery?
I thought it was very demeaning. The man's like, I have investments. And I want my children to be successful. And if they want to work here, I probably could get them a job. No, I don't own it. But, you know, I'm creating a life for my children that I think is amazing. He's like, no, you weak. They don't want a weak dad. It's like,
yeah, it was
it's like you're doing way
but the thing
too
that
much.
shocked me about that interview was the fact that when he asked them, can you get your children a job here? They were like, no. I was shocked.
Yeah.
No, that was a problem. Wait.
And he has money invested in the company.
Right, I think that what he was saying was that he wasn't the main boss.
Yeah.
I don't think he wasn't saying that I cannot get my son a
Yeah.
job
I
here.
think he can get his kids a job.
But he's gonna, it's not.
No. He asked them that. He's like, can you?
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying like if DJ Envy wanted to get his son there, I'm assuming that it wouldn't be a problem.
But he said no.
But
I know what you're saying. Okay, forget it. I hear what you're saying.
The most interesting thing is like
thinking about it in a
they
different
could
way.
take their radio company and go anywhere and everybody will follow them. Like they have a huge following. They have an intimate fan base.
And that's what Damon was saying.
There.
That's what Damon was saying. And that's why I
saying.
agree with him. But also he's talking to a very segment. For example, how did he make his money originally?
That's what I was.
That's true.
Say.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
I
true.
really agree.
No.
Did he come from money or was he doing
Let me
something
finish.
else?
Let me finish really quickly. He was selling drugs and he was doing things that we cannot do.
Yeah.
Or that I'm not willing to do. So you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that he went a particular way about achieving his goals. And not that everybody can't, but I feel like if you're going to deliver a message to somebody, deliver it to them well so that they can take away things from it and apply it to their lives. Yes, I feel encouraged. I feel like now you're making me feel like I'm stupid. Like I'm a teacher and I'm educating you, then I got a boss and it's a bad thing.
It was tough.
You know what I'm saying?
It was tough.
Go ahead, Sean.
It was just no. I think it was worse than that.
Well, what I would do to my own children when I have children is ask them what they want to do in life. Find out what is it that you want to do in life, what makes you happy. I wouldn't force my children, own your own business. I wouldn't tell somebody, you're successful on the radio, go start your own thing. If you find comfort there, if you make enough money to meet your needs in life, I'm not going to go, because we're kind of eliminating the part of owning a business is hard. It's not that easy to just go and start, even if you have all the popularity.
And it's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not management. You have to have management skills to own your own business. It's not that easy.
Go ahead.
He's telling people that they need to do this. He didn't say anything about the how-tos. And that's really what's missing in a lot of these communities. Like, how do we elevate ourselves from this social economic status to a higher one? A lot of us don't have the information. Like, I can, like, just from personal examples, I can just think of so many different career paths that people don't take advantage of just because they never heard of them.
I agree. I agree 100% with that.
Or like, so when Charlamagne was asking him, but how did you start? What do you do?
Really say.
And then he's telling people not to do internships.
Kanye, but then when they asked him about Kanye interning, he was like, oh yeah, that's totally cool. Like, that's basically what he said.
He was doing a little bit of
He was doing a little bit of...
Because, I mean, one thing, because I watch Dame Dash interviews all the time, and he's definitely on a defensive. That's because as soon as he fell out the limelight, people are assuming that he's broke. People are assuming that he's lost whatever. Yeah. And one thing that he said is, like, a lot of stuff is smoke and mirrors. And so when we look at, who his partner was, so it was him and Jay-Z. Jay-Z, again, is an employee. We like to look at him as a boss, but he's good business-wise, but he really is an employee. Dame Dash controls his distribution channels. He starts from the beginning to the end, so he gets to control everything. If you know anything even about business, you can manipulate what your income looks like based on just how much taxes that you're willing to pay. You know, these are the things that people don't understand. So it might look like on paper that he is broke, but if you have cash flow, what he's saying, if I have cash flow, if I can decide where I'm going to be or what projects I'm working on, that's what I would value over just being catapulted as a so-called boss or a so-called owner, when really I can't speak out on black issue because
that's not really being free.
The person behind the camera is going to tell me
you're not really free.
And I had more of a takeaway from what you just said
than the way
in regards to
Dame Dash is always been a clown.
But that's what I'm being critical of. The message, I received it because I have more of an entrepreneurial mindset, so I received that, and it was something that I needed to hear. But at the same time, I had to filter through all of his bullshit in order to get there. That's what I'm saying. Not everybody else can, to Mark's point originally.
Wells, did you want to say something?
I was just going to say that the whole like I said, we get the delivery was off. But I also think that I don't know how to say this, had Dame been a white man, we might have not been that critical of how he delivered the message. Now, I really believe that. I believe that. I believe that. You know, I think that even in media, even as you look at athletes and celebrities, it's the black who if you gain any type of status quo or any type of success, you have to be humble. You have to be, you have to. If you have any type of confidence or cockiness or anything, it cracked the whip. And I think that why is that? That's how they're doing with Mayweather. You can see a white man be sensitive. He could be strong. He could be his character. There's no assassination character with someone of a dominant society.
What's the white equivalent to him? Is there? I mean, we might have to think about this.
It's really not.
I mean, honestly, I don't participate in white dominant culture. Maybe I would know.
We don't know who those people are.
Because it's a community of them, you know what I mean? It's not like Dame is trying to preach the whole idea of entrepreneurship. Not meaning that everyone has to do it.
Mark Cuban, I'm sorry. Mark Cuban is kind of.
I was about to say, I can say a lot of even those like network marketing companies, that's how they sell. Like you want to be broke.
If you speak to any other race, the first thing is like, we're already thinking to build our own foundation as a family or as a community. We're just too used to just working with people. We're comfortable doing that.
I agree. I agree that the message is fine, and I think that oftentimes we are critical of whenever black people say things. But let's just take him. Let's put him in a vacuum by himself. He's an asshole, and that's what my takeaway was. Mark Cuban, I think for the most part, I think we can all agree that he's pretty asshole-ish too. But I've never heard him say that if you are this or that, then you're weak and you're not a man and bitches need to be around and you like shut the fuck up. Just say that this is what you need to do and this is what I believe and be cool with it. Like we don't need all of this extra stuff. It's taken away from you and your potential as a brand. And the message. And that's what I.
And I also have a question. Like my whole thing is, I feel like somebody always has to answer to someone. Even if you own your own company, if you're in this building, if you're in this building,
and has he
you have to pay rent.
Yeah, and has he never reminded somebody that you're working for me? I'm pretty sure he has.
No, it doesn't matter if you own a network. Oprah, Discovery Channel owns the own channel. Like it doesn't matter. You're always gonna have to answer. Revolt, Diddy, he owns it. But he has to answer too, or he won't get it, or he won't get his play time. You know what I'm saying? To play the game, you got to play with the game. Like there's no way you can't even. There's just no. You always have to shoulder them.
And then I don't like that too, saying, "Oh, you're not necessarily free." Like make it sound like people who work are slaves in a sense.
But we kind of are in a certain extent.
Then if you own your own business, you're a slave to your own business, and you still, even if you own your own business,
it depends. You can decide when you wake up or if you want to go to. You can just if you own your own business. When you have a job, and you have to answer to somebody. You have to go to work. If you don't go to work, you're gonna get fired. And that's a kind of.
When you own your own business, sometimes you can't take your days off. You can't eat. You don't make any money.
It's true, but if you decide one day, you know what, I'm gonna close my business down today. I don't feel like going.
Yeah, the same way you can just decide to quit your job. But the point I was making also.
The thing is, you make that decision. If you don't make money, you don't make money. But if you have a job, you don't show up, they can fire you.
Okay.
Nobody's firing
Well,
you
if you
from
show
your
up
own
every day
business.
for 30 years, they can still fire you. That's what we're seeing in American cities, that whole industries were being shut down, and now it's poverty and abandonment. Like, that's what happened.
I've seen people laid off at work.
Yeah.
And that didn't make me feel comfortable knowing that these people that I was just having
Had the
lunch with
power.
today
Life, like,
could just
and
lay
been
you
there
off
for
and
20
that's
years.
it.
it's actually life.
And honestly, I've seen more businesses fold than people get fired. I've seen more people start businesses and fail than people get fired.
85%
That's true.
of startups will fail.
Will fail.
Yeah, but
That's what I'm saying. It's not for everybody. Let's not say, yo,
It's
you
not.
should be a business owner. Not
It's
everybody
not.
should be a business owner.
But more of us.
Maybe more, but let's not say it's not for everybody.
There should be a variety.
Okay, wait. We're gonna
It's more so a mindset. It's not-
we're gonna
it's the
switch topics. We have to
mindset
switch
that's
topics. We don't have time. So I'm gonna switch topics. I'm sorry, I know this is really passionate, but Jaden Smith. Jada Smith was found, not found, was found wearing a skirt.
There's the problem.
He clearly saw that skirt.
Jada Smith was wearing a skirt.
Oh.
Media blew up. You know, certain people felt like he shouldn't be wearing a skirt. He shouldn't be wearing women's clothes. I personally don't care. What do you guys think?
Same.
I mean,
You don't care?
It's his life.
I'm
I'm surprised.
In a vacuum, I guess it doesn't matter. It's you can wear whatever you want, but we have to understand that the people that how should I say this? All right, the media is always there's always an agenda behind things and how we use the media.
Okay.
And I believe that, this is my opinion, I think that there's a plot to effeminize men, especially black men. You know what I mean?
You think so?
Dressing
Yes,
up as women.
I believe so.
Our cameraman is shaking his
I-
head.
I
Yes.
Heard that? I don't believe it.
I've seen many testimonials of just like actors on set of where they're like,
Chappelle.
you need to wear a dress, wear this, wear lipstick, and it's like if you, in order to reach certain plateaus, you have to do certain.
Okay, so my question is, if that's the agenda, if that's what you think is the agenda, what do you think is wrong with men wearing dresses or men wearing lipstick?
I think
We're adding lipstick to it too?
Yeah, like
I mean, maybe.
listen, like
Yeah.
I think there's certainly something to that, and I think it's something going on now, but there's also something historical. My thing has always been, again, we have an issue when a man says being a man is owning themselves and having control over their family, but we don't have an issue when a man says it's just going around and having sex with a whole bunch of people and being violent. Like, we have to redefine masculinity, and what you wear really has nothing to do with that. Like, men have historically worn dresses.
Yeah, our culture, they wear the long. It's not a dress, but it's like
in that
Yeah, they wear
context.
wrappers. Yeah.
In that context, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not a skirt, but it's like it's open.
There's meaning. There's
Yeah.
meaning to it, right? So
It was a
So
culture.
let's be
Yeah.
clear. What kind of dress was he wearing?
He was wearing a skirt.
It looked like a shirt.
He was wearing a
Honestly,
skirt,
it looked like
but it
long
had
shirt.
pants underneath, right? Shorts underneath.
I don't think he had
It was a skirt with shorts underneath. I don't have to. Did you check? What do you think, Donovan?
I just got into a huge thing about this with some regular people, but anyway, I
Basic people.
real basic. So my thing is first of all, it's so interesting that I think that people say that there is this agenda to feminize men and black men in particular. When you think about the image of black men and it's thuggery.
Exactly.
It's hypermasculine, it's thug, it's militant, it's very like kind of like Damon Dash, and like I can't get too close to another man because I can't speak English. Like that is the image of a black man. And then what you have isolated situations where you have men who decide to express themselves in various ways, and all of a sudden there's a campaign to feminize black. I think that is so silly. I think that there is no validity to it. I think that there may be, I'm not saying that there aren't one-offs. I'm not saying that there's not somebody is sitting in a lab not trying to create a plot. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying from a very high level, I don't understand how that is a valid argument considering the fact that the overwhelming image of a black man is of a rioter. So if you have an image of a very young man who decides that he wants to express himself the same way that he expresses walking down the street with his girlfriend, I don't understand how that is a part of an agenda to feminize black men. I think what we need to do in the black community is focus on how do we teach black men that you can express yourself emotionally, that you don't have to wear big ass pants, that you don't have to adapt prison culture to prove that you're masculine. Like, why don't we focus our energy on maybe making black men into real men who are full and rounded men, as opposed to worrying about what he's wearing.
Yeah, that's.
You know what I'm saying?
Also,
He may
I
wear that
will-
now, and he may not wear that later.
Also,
Exactly.
I will say Dave Chappelle did say he did say in what interview was that he was like, you know, when Oprah was interviewing him, that they kept trying to put him in a dress, and he's like, why? And he's like, why all these entertainers always people are trying to put them in a dress? I'm not like, I mean, we're
Mrs. Doubtfire, there's like mad examples of white
Yeah.
dudes
Mrs. Doubtfire
wearing
is a
dresses too.
classic
I mean,
movie.
from
But-
all the way back, white
Yeah.
men in dresses,
Not
and
even
dresses, and
fashion.
dresses. I'll send you guys an email with, I can guarantee I can give you over
No,
one
it's
Google
true.
search,
I mean,
at
it's
least
definitely-
15 movies with white
But for
men in
me, for
dresses.
Dave Chappelle to say, I mean, I respect Dave Chappelle. I knew because I knew he distanced himself from the industry for a certain reason. So it's kind of like why, like he didn't divulge, but it's like I kind of want to know what else was there. You know what I mean?
Dave
So
Chappelle
I feel like
was
he
referring to
knows.
black comedians.
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence, Dress, Tyler Perry. Oh my God.
Eddie Murphy.
but I'm
every
saying-
single man.
But then again, what's the problem with a man?
a man?
I'm just putting it out there.
In a
What's the
movie.
problem with?
Like that's different because
That's like
that's
so-
one
that's-
that's making
yeah.
fun of black women a lot of times when you.
It
when you see
is.
that.
It is.
And that's
And so we're
also
masculine
just,
too,
Like there's
yeah.
something to making black men come off as like you said, having to be humble or being a little bit more like meek or
Subservient,
like,
docile,
submissive,
like
docile. Like the image of like dangerous, you know, is very honestly fairly new. Like even with gangs and rioting and stuff, we didn't do that until the 60s after 500 years of being here. So like that's really new. But when it comes to just like people's personal style preference and all that, that's where I'm at like totally, you know, 100% with him. That has nothing. We have to
do with
focus
the-
as a black community. Like how are you taking care of yourself? How are you taking care of your family? How are you emotionally well? What's your like? That's what we keep ignoring because we want to get stuck on like homophobic things. Like
So
a man
this
is
is
just
trivial.
not.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
we talked about creating a well-rounded man. What does that mean for black men? And how do, like, what does that
We have to
mean?
hone in on.
we have to be careful of what lens we're looking at this too.
Yeah.
Media, television, it's all through a white dominant society point of view. You know what I mean? It's through their point of view. So sometimes we catch ourselves looking at things from their point of view. We don't even catch ourselves when we do it. So when we say a black man and a man, like, well, how are you separating a black man? Like, you know, I heard you say that, you know, black man should be like a regular man. So wait, you have to unpack that for me to understand.
I'm
What
sorry,
does that mean?
what did I say?
No, you said that we need to stop. You said a lot.
Can we
You
roll
said a
that
lot. But I'm just saying, like,
We can't
all right, let's just roll back to your
Well,
question.
well,
What's the definition? Or what is there a general definition
I
of
mean,
that?
I
Or,
personally, from a
maybe
cultural
it-
perspective, I feel like feminists might be mad at me. There is a difference between men and women.
Yes.
And that's fine.
It is.
We're equal, but we are different.
Yes.
For instance, women have lower body strength because they have to give birth. Men have more upper body strength. There's different things like if somebody's coming to attack, you know, a man will come in front of a woman to protect her because he has more like a certain type of physical strength. And to me, that's important for me as a woman to see that a man that I'm with has that. Even you walk on the outside of, you know, we're not together, but you walk on a certain side of the street from me because you want to protect me from anything that might come. You told me you've been on the subway when men are like, you know, being aggressive towards women and you had to get in the middle. Like as a woman, I'm not ashamed to say I need that. You know what I mean? I need that masculinity from a man, and I don't think that's a bad thing to say. You know.
So based on this,
But why is that being reduced by wearing a skirt? Like
No, I don't think that's reduced by wearing a
I'm not
skirt.
saying you saying that,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying why would people go as far as to suggest that a piece of cotton is taken away from? You know what I'm saying? Like
I think it's trivial. I think it's
I
trivial.
honestly never knew that it was an issue. That's why I'm asking women, like, how to, like,
Well, I
if men all started wearing skirts, how does that change how you look
Personally,
at?
I don't think it's gonna
It
happen.
don't matter to me. I date women, so it don't affect me. It's about what's your perspective of this.
just being in a black
Affect me.
African American, the African American culture here is kind of like we built like this is how it should be based off of white people, and then we come in and later on, like me personally in my family, like I've had people say like, oh, you're not gonna find a man because you got a nose, like you got this ring in your nose and everything else. Or people say all these like, oh, you look gothic, oh, you look scary. And it's like, do you not know that your ancestors wore this in their nose? And it made statements. Do you not know that they wore all types of piercings and everything else. These people have been Americanized, and they do not know their history. They are ignorant, you know what I'm saying, to their history. What that guy has on might not be my preference. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That is not my business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I don't think it's gonna become a trend either.
No.
These are very isolated incidents.
But if it did become a trend, I don't think I would.
But I don't think that it would. I mean, whatever.
Trend.
I mean, like that to me, like that's neither here nor there. I think that I've watched like a couple of videos with like this one of these one of these people who was talking about dudes with dresses on, and he was like, "Oh, that's
Umar?
that." Yeah, talking about.
Professor Graham?
I don't say the F word, but he was saying the F word and saying like, "Oh, these F'ers, you know, they walking around and trying to, and they gay and all of this stuff." And my thing is like, in my mind, it doesn't. There's no association, so I don't understand.
Association with what?
Association with the way that you may dress and your sexuality.
Yeah.
And the reason why I may have made a distinction between black men and non-black men is because I feel like black men are put into a box.
I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him. Maybe I should call. Maybe I should call. I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him. But I'll never call. Maybe that's my flaw.